I didn't buy this house because of the walls, not because of the view, not even because it was a dream. I bought this home because of you. You see, a house is just wood, brick, and silence. But a home is laughter in the hallway. It's quiet mornings. It's the sound of someone you love breathing beside you at night. And when I walked through that empty space for the first time, I didn't see furniture. I didn't see paint colors. I saw us. I saw your smile in the kitchen. I heard your voice in the living room. I felt the future standing there with me. This wasn't a purchase, it was a promise. And today I want to tell you why every brick, every corner, every doorway has your name written on it. I remember the first time I stood in that empty space. It didn't echo the way most empty houses do. It felt patient, like it was waiting. The floors were bare, the walls untouched, the windows wide and open to a sky that didn't promise anything extraordinary. And yet I stood there and saw a life unfolding in the quiet. Not my life alone. Ours. I didn't buy this home because it was perfect. It wasn't. The paint was fading in places. The garden had been neglected. The porch light flickered like it wasn't sure it wanted to stay. But love doesn't look for perfection. It looks for possibility. And every imperfection I saw, I imagined your hands shaping it, your laughter filling the rooms, and you standing by the window in the early morning light, wrapped in silence and peace. People think buying a house is a financial decision, an investment, a milestone, something you do when the numbers make sense. But sometimes the heart makes a decision long before the mind catches up. Sometimes you walk into a space and you feel something settle deep in your chest. Not excitement, not fear, just certainty. That's what I felt. Certainty that this was where I wanted to watch you chase your dreams. Certainty that this was where I wanted to sit beside you after long days and say nothing at all. Certainty that this was where our quiet moments would matter more than any grand adventure. I bought this home just for you. Not as a gift wrapped in ribbons, not as a grand gesture to impress the world, but as a promise, a quiet one, the kind that doesn't need applause, the kind that doesn't need anyone else to understand. Because love isn't loud. It doesn't shout from rooftops. It stands steady. It shows up. It builds. When I walked through the hallway, I imagined your footsteps there. When I touched the kitchen counter, I imagined your hands resting on it as you told me about your day. When I stepped into what would become our bedroom, I imagined the softness of shared silence. The kind where you don't have to fill the air with words because being close is enough. There were moments of doubt. Of course there were. Big decisions always come with shadows. I asked myself if I was ready, if I could carry the weight of responsibility that comes with four walls and a roof. A home isn't just a place to sleep. It's shelter, it's safety, it's commitment made visible. And then I thought of you. I thought of the way your eyes soften when you feel secure. I thought of how you deserve a place where you don't have to be strong all the time, a place where you can exhale, a place where the world can't reach you unless you invite it in. So I signed the papers with steady hands, not because I wasn't afraid, but because loving you made fear feel smaller. This home isn't about square footage. It isn't about location or design. It's about mornings that begin with shared coffee and unfinished conversations. It's about evenings when the world feels heavy and we close the door behind us and let the silence heal us. I imagined you choosing the curtains, rearranging the furniture, turning blank walls into reflections of who you are. I imagined your favorite books stacked on a table, your music drifting through open windows, your presence transforming structure into sanctuary. A house stands because it was built correctly. A home stands because love keeps choosing it. I bought this home just for you because I believe in us. Not the perfect version of us, not the version that never disagrees or never struggles. I believe in the real us, the one that grows, the one that learns, the one that sits on the floor together when things don't make sense and decides to keep going anyway. There's something sacred about creating a space where someone feels safe enough to be vulnerable, where tears aren't hidden, where laughter isn't restrained, where dreams are spoken out loud without fear of judgment. That's what I want this place to be for you. A refuge, a starting point, a constant in a world that moves too fast. I know bricks and wood can't solve everything, They can't erase pain. They can't prevent storms, but they can provide shelter while we face those storms together. They can hold the sound of our voices when we remind each other why we chose this path. I didn't buy this home to show that I can provide. I bought it to show that I am here, fully, intentionally, without hesitation. Because love is more than words whispered in soft moments. It's action taken when it matters. It's stepping forward when it would be easier to stay still. When I picture the years ahead, I don't see luxury, I see simplicity. I see us sitting on the porch watching the sky change colors. I see quiet celebrations of small victories. I see comfort after long days. I see forgiveness after misunderstandings. I see growth that doesn't happen overnight but happens because we keep choosing each other. Every corner of this home holds a future memory. Birthdays celebrated in the living room, difficult conversations at the kitchen table, random dancing in the hallway, long nights where sleep doesn't come easily, but comfort does. I bought this home just for you because you are worth building around. You are worth commitment that doesn't waver when things get complicated. You are worth sacrifice that no one else sees. There were other options, other places that were bigger, newer, more impressive. But none of them felt right. None of them felt like they understood what I was trying to create. This home felt honest. And love, when it's real, is honest. It doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It doesn't decorate itself to impress strangers. It stands in truth. It says, this is who I am. This is what I offer. What I offer is stability, devotion, presence. I offer a place where your dreams are not just tolerated but supported. A place where your fears are not dismissed but held gently. A place where you can be entirely yourself without shrinking into a smaller version of who you are meant to be. I know that walls don't guarantee happiness, but they can frame it. They can hold it long enough for it to grow roots. When I think about why I did this, the answer is simple: because I love you. Not in a dramatic, cinematic way, not in a way that burns bright and fades fast, but in a steady way, a way that wakes up every morning and chooses the same heart, a way that sees flaws and stays anyway, a way that understands love is not about perfection, but about persistence. This home is a reflection of that persistence. It says I'm not going anywhere. It says you matter enough for me to build something lasting. It says I believe in tomorrow. There will be days when this house feels too quiet. Days when we question ourselves, days when the future feels uncertain. But even then, these walls will stand. They will remind us of the day we decided to anchor our love in something tangible. I bought this home just for you because I see a lifetime in your eyes. I see conversations that haven't happened yet. I see journeys we haven't taken. I see challenges we haven't faced. And I want a place where we can return after all of it. A place that doesn't judge us for changing. A place that grows with us. Maybe one day the paint will chip again. Maybe the floors will creak. Maybe the garden will need tending and we'll fix it together. Because maintaining a home is like maintaining love. It requires attention, patience, effort, but it's worth it. It's always worth it. I don't know what the world will bring us. I don't know how many times we'll have to start over. But I know that every time we walk through that front door, we'll be stepping into a space built with intention, built with hope, built with love that doesn't ask for recognition. I bought this home just for you because I wanted you to have something solid in a world that often feels fragile. I wanted you to know that someone is willing to invest not just money, but faith, not just effort, but heart. And when you walk through those rooms, I hope you feel it. I hope you feel the quiet promise in the walls. I hope you feel the steadiness beneath the floors. I hope you feel the future waiting gently, not demanding perfection, just inviting presence. Because this was never about ownership, it was about belonging. It was about choosing you in a way that can be seen and touched. A way that says, without grand speeches or dramatic gestures, that you are my home as much as this place is. And that truth is bigger than any deed or document ever signed by steady or uncertain hands. And if one day we sit together in the dim light of the living room, older and quiet, listening to the echoes of memories we created here, I want us to remember that it started with a simple decision, a quiet certainty, a moment in an empty space where I realized that love isn't just something you feel. It's something you build and keep building even when the world outside keeps changing, and the seasons shift and the years pass, and we find ourselves standing in the same doorway holding on to the same promise. Still choosing, still believing, still finding reasons in the silence of these rooms to stay, to grow, to forgive, to hold each other a little closer when the nights feel longer and the mornings arrive too soon, knowing that inside these walls a story is unfolding that began the day I stood alone in that empty house and saw not emptiness but you. You were there in every corner, in every beam of light, in every quiet breath of space, waiting to be filled with the sound of a life we were brave enough to imagine and bold enough to begin. A life that doesn't end with a signature on paper but continues in the steady rhythm of two hearts, choosing the same place, the same promise, the same love over and over again without needing applause, without needing certainty, just needing each other and the quiet strength of knowing that this home was never just a structure but a living reflection of what it means to say, I am here and I am not leaving. And I bought this home just for you. Because in every possible future I could see, the only thing that truly mattered was that when the door closed at the end of the day and the noise of the world faded, it would be you standing beside me. In that stillness, we would continue becoming who we are meant to be, without fear, without hesitation, without ever having to question whether we belong, because we already decided that we do and we always will, as long as we keep walking through that door together and choosing to stay in the light that falls across the floor and the quiet that settles between us and the love that keeps building itself inside these walls long after the world outside forgets our names. And the only thing left is the sound of our breathing in the dark and the steady reminder that everything we needed was here from the very beginning, waiting in the silence for us to claim it, to name it, to protect it, and to call it, without any doubt or hesitation, home. Because home was never about an address. It was always about you. Every sacrifice is silent when the heart is certain. There's something people don't always see about love. They see the smiles, the photos, the keys handed over, the door opening for the first time, but they don't see the quiet nights before that moment. They don't see the choices made in silence, the things given up without announcement, the comfort traded for commitment. When I say I bought this home just for you, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about decision, about choosing a path and walking it without looking back every 5 minutes to see what I left behind. Sacrifice isn't loud. It doesn't introduce itself. It doesn't ask for applause. It simply happens when something or someone matters more than your own convenience. There were easier options, smaller responsibilities, lighter burdens. I could have chosen flexibility over foundation, but loving you changed the scale of what matters entirely. Suddenly, stability mattered more than freedom. Security mattered more than simplicity. Building mattered more than wandering. Not because I felt forced, not because I felt pressure, but because my heart was certain. And when the heart is certain, sacrifice doesn't feel like loss. It feels like alignment. There were nights I sat alone thinking about the weight of it all. The mortgage, the maintenance, the reality that owning a home means showing up even when you're tired, even when you'd rather escape. And I asked myself if I was ready to carry that. Then I thought about carrying life with you. I thought about the way you deserve consistency, the way you deserve to feel anchored in a world that shifts without warning. And suddenly the weight didn't feel so heavy, because it wasn't just mine, it was ours. Every early morning, every extra hour worked, every plan adjusted. They weren't sacrifices in the dramatic sense. They were quiet investments. People often misunderstand sacrifice. They think it means giving up joy, but real sacrifice gives birth to deeper joy. It trades momentary ease for lasting meaning. I gave up the idea of drifting. I gave up the option of maybe. I gave up the safety of keeping my life small and uncomplicated. And I did it without resentment because loving you didn't feel like restriction. It felt like expansion. It made me want to become someone who could build, who could protect, who could provide. Not just financially, but emotionally. Buying this home wasn't just about signing papers. It was about stepping fully into responsibility. It was about saying, I am willing to stand here and hold this space for us. There were moments when doubt whispered. It asked if I was moving too fast, if I was risking too much, if I should wait until everything was perfectly aligned. But certainty doesn't wait for perfection. It moves with conviction even when the future isn't fully visible. And my conviction was simple. You are worth building for. You are worth sacrificing for. Not in a way that erases me, not in a way that turns love into obligation, but in a way that strengthens both of us. In a way that says I believe in what we are creating enough to invest my time, my energy, my focus. Spontaneity became planning, impulse became intention, short-term pleasure became long-term vision, and I didn't announce it, I didn't keep score, I didn't expect recognition, because when the heart is certain, it doesn't need validation for every step it takes. It knows. It simply knows. I remember standing in that empty living room after the papers were signed. The room was quiet, almost too quiet, and for a brief moment, the magnitude of what I had done settled in. This wasn't reversible with a simple decision. This was commitment in physical form. And instead of fear, I felt peace. Because I wasn't building for myself alone. Sacrifice rooted in love doesn't feel like giving something up. It feels like planting something, like placing seeds into soil and trusting that with care and patience, something beautiful will grow. There will be repairs, unexpected expenses, days when the roof leaks or the heater fails. There will be frustrations that test patience. And in those moments, I won't see burden. I'll see choice. The choice I made willingly because certainty doesn't disappear when things get difficult. It proves itself there. I sacrificed the illusion that life is easier when you keep it temporary. I chose the strength that comes with permanence. I chose walls that don't move, a door that opens to the same address every night, a place that doesn't shift with every change in mood or season. And I chose it because loving you made permanence beautiful and commitment feel like the most natural thing in the world. There's a quiet dignity in sacrifice. It shapes character. It deepens resolve. It turns love from a feeling into an action repeated daily. When I pay the bills, it's not just a transaction, it's protection. When I fix something broken, it's not just maintenance, it's care. When I come home tired and still show up with presence, it's not obligation, it's devotion. Every sacrifice is silent when the heart is certain. No one sees the internal negotiations, the moments of self-doubt, the small fears faced and overcome. They only see the result, a home. But beneath that result is 1,000 quiet decisions that said again and again, you matter. And here's the truth about certainty. It doesn't mean I never question myself. It means that even when I do, the answer remains the same. I would choose this again. I would choose you again. I would choose the responsibility, the weight, the long-term commitment again. Because the alternative, a life built only for myself, feels smaller than anything I want to live. This home represents growth. It represents stepping beyond comfort into purpose. It represents believing in something enough to tie your future to it. Sacrifice, when driven by love, doesn't feel heavy. It feels like the most honest thing I have ever done. I didn't lose anything that mattered. I gained direction. I gained clarity. I gained a deeper understanding of what it means to love someone. Not just with emotion, not just with words spoken in the warmth of easy moments, but with action, with patience, with the willingness to show up consistently in ways that the world may never notice or applaud. And that is enough, more than enough. Because the heart that is certain does not need the world to understand its reasons. It only needs one person to feel the truth of what was built and know, without a single word being spoken, that every single part of it was made with love. Only love, always love, for you.